Hi friends, I'm so glad that you made it for our third and final spiral weaving lesson. All right, I'm standing in a different room in my house today because I want to show you a weaving that I made. And this weaving has a spiral weaving as part of it. So I made a snail because I love snails, and the shell is a spiral. So today we are going to use these same techniques to make our own spiral weaving. Now, there's a lot to go over today, so there we go. So I want to get right to it. First, I will share with you some weavings from around the world, and then I will demonstrate. All right, let's begin. Last week, we learned about weaving in Australia, and before that, we looked at weaving in Peru. We talked about where yarn comes from and how it gets its colors. Weaving also has existed in China for many, many years. Check out this amazing weaving of a dragon from China. We can also find weaving in Africa. These are some amazing kente cloths from the country of Ghana in Africa. We can also see weavings from Mexico, like this amazing serpent here. Cool. So for lesson 3, our final one, we're finally going to add the spiral. And you'll hear me say a lot, over, under, because that's the pattern we'll follow in our weaving. I'll explain. So, my kitty wants to show the materials that we're going to need today. So you're going to need your cardboard circle or plate with the pizza slices we added last week. And my cat also wants to show you the yarn. I have lots of different colors. Different colors are great. If you have different thicknesses, like thick and thin yarn, that also looks really cool. But just use what you have. And this is totally optional, but if you want to add beads, if you have beads, pom-poms are also optional to add on top of your weaving once we finish. So let's begin with spiral weaving. I'm going to start with some thick yarn, and I'm going to cut off a longish piece, so like a kind of medium-sized snake, we'll say, and I'm going to start with this. Now, to begin, I'm going to tie this yarn to the middle. So I'm going to thread the yarn underneath like so, so it's coming out the other side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a really simple knot. So I start by making an X. I cross the yarn over each other. I make an X. I bring this little tail through the hole and pull. All right, let's watch that one more time. So I have my yarn. I make an X through the hole. Look, I'm using just a little tail on this side and pull, pull, pull. So again, that's X through the hole and pull, pull, pull. There we go. So now I have this little tail. I want to cut that off. And now I'm ready to actually start spiral weaving. So I can start with any string that I want. I'll start with this one. And remember, we go over, under, over, under, over, under. And we do that as we spiral around. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go under and pull. And now my next one, I'm going to bring my yarn over so it crosses over it. This one, I'm going to go under it. So sometimes we can think of this as over, under, over, under. Sometimes we think of this as up and down, up and down. All right, so I did over, under. This one is going to go over. This yarn goes under. And now this one I go over. This next one I go under. So see how I'm making a pattern. The pattern goes over, under, over, under. This one I go over. This one I go under. This one I go over. It's kind of like I skip it all together. And the next one I go under. Whoops. This one's over. This one's under. I'm making a spiral. Cool. This one's over, or skip, and this one's under. Now, it's totally normal. If this is tricky for you at first, don't give up. You might need some grown-up help just to get you started. But after some practice, hopefully you'll get the hang of it. All right, when you're ready to change colors, you can clip the extra yarn off, and then with that little tail, I just like to hide it underneath, and then I'm ready for my next color. Now you might want to change colors. I want to do this color of yarn next, so I'm going to cut off a longish snake. This snake is going to be even longer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, tying my yarn to a string. I'm going to tie it to this string. So remember, I have just a little bit going under. And just like what I did before, I'm going to make an X. See if I can zoom in for you. There we go. Okay, I make like an X. And then I take the tail and I loop it through the hole, X through the hole, and pull, pull, pull. All right, so this little guy, I'm gonna cut off the tail. Boop. And now I'm ready to start weaving, spiraling around and around and around. There we go. Let's go for it. So this time I'm actually gonna go under this one. I went over it last time, but this time I'm gonna change it up. So I'm gonna go under this one, and I'm gonna go over this guy. Under this guy, and over this one. Under, over, under. See how I'm pulling this guy up? And over. I kind of skipped that one. Under and over. Oops, if it gets a little misshapen, you can just fix it. No problem. Over and under. Over and under. All right, I'm gonna speed up the camera and keep going. Now, what if you want to add some beads? Well, that's a great question. I'm gonna switch my colors again. Remember, I bring a little bit through, and then what I do, whoops, is I make an X, through the hole, whoop, and pull, pull, pull. Again, adult help with that step might be necessary. If you already know how to tie your shoes, maybe you got it. Maybe you might want a grown-up's help. Now to add the bead, just make sure your beads are big enough that the yarn can actually fit through the hole. All right, so I'm gonna take the end of my yarn and I'm gonna rub the yarn with my 2 fingers to kind of create a point so that it'll fit through the bead hole more easily. You can also cut it with the scissors if that helps. Then I'm gonna slide it on through the bead, and perfect. Now I'm gonna keep weaving, going around my circle, and I'm gonna add more beads as I go. Also, if you want to add on pom-poms, you'll just need some glue. I want to put one right here in the center. This guy right here, this colorful one. Ooh, fun. And then I want to add some little ones as well. And now I am all finished. So you might remember last week I gave you the option if you wanted to add more slices of pizza, more lines of yarn. If so, you'll follow the same steps from this video. It might just take longer because you'll have more yarn to go over, under, but it's the same steps. Thank you, friends. As always, I hope that you have so much fun and that you love weaving as much as I do. All right. Sending a kiss. Bye.